It's time to get lost in the Midcard. This Bleav in Pro Wrestling property is brought to you by Bet Online, the continued #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Join now and receive your 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code Bleav. Now, here are Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black on the Bleav Podcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where we're feeling a little bit more Uce after watching SmackDown. Boy, that story continues to get good. We're going to get into that a little bit, but it is lost in the mid-card. Welcome to our first show of February. Hard to believe we are already here in February. I'd like to thank everybody joining us live every week, joining us in the chat. We appreciate you. If you're listening on the podcast, we appreciate you as well. Please do us a favor. Go to the Bleav, that is BLEAV, Bleav in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. Give us a subscription. Give us a thumbs up on the video. Share it out to your friends and family. Let's talk a little bit of pro wrestling here as we are your unofficial official podcast before Monday Night Raw, as we are live every Monday evening, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at RawF Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how's it going?
What's up, man?
What's up?
It's Monday. It's Raw. Bork Laser's gonna be on.
Pork.
We're gonna see what the latest happening on the road to WrestleMania is tonight.
I got a little bit of breaking news. I might be possibly going on the Cruise of Jericho next year. We got some details to work out, but I think I'm gonna actually be on that cruise next year. I've got some a couple good friends of mine that have gone to all of them. I think they're on their way back home tomorrow. I think it's over now. Because a buddy of mine said he was in Miami, so they might be on their way home now. I can't remember what.
Yeah, I think people are on their way home now.
You got a little taste of the cruise on BTE this week. That was kind of cool to see some stuff there, as always. I'm sure maybe on Dynamite we'll get a little bit of stuff from there too. I don't know. But again, thank you everybody here for joining us live. We got Mark Cho in the house with that correct title, the unofficial official lead into Monday Night Raw. Anthony wants to be a guest on the podcast someday. We may have guests down the line. We'll see. Right now we're just doing us two here. We'd have to get our graphics department on that. The head of Bleav.
Trybox.
Yeah, we'd have to get the Bleav in Pro Wrestling head Rick Ucchino in on that someday. Steven, Elimination Chambers. It is Elimination Chamber season, so it's good to see Steven.
It's his month, man.
Yep, it's Steven's month. So welcome, Antoine. What is up? Yes, Becky, Bailey. They better
finally.
They better not swerve us.
I hear it's going to be the main event. So I don't think we're getting swerved tonight.
Mark Cho, I was the best guest. Yeah, Mark was
No, you weren't. Your microphone was terrible.
That was many moons ago.
I'm just going to call you out on your shit right now, sir.
That was
You're not a good guest.
Many moons ago. Of course, this show's been on the air for 8 years now. How about that?
Long damn time.
300 plus episodes on YouTube, and now
back in the archives.
Yep, and now which you can still listen to. You can go to Lost in the Midcard, search for Lost in the Midcard on YouTube, and all the episodes are there from January of 2015 to October of 2021. Then we took a year off and we came back on the Bleav in Pro Wrestling Network. So we've been weekly for the most part since October. So yeah, we've added another 15 shows to the can there. So I bet we're probably close to approaching 350 episodes or something like that.
We're back and better than ever, pal.
Marcho says he has better tech now. I see that he painted his wall.
I believe that that's accurate.
Yeah.
But back then, his tech was not good.
Marcho does some gaming streaming on Facebook, I believe, every once in a while. Charles, Mr.
What up,
Classic Xander.
Charles?
Charles in the chat there. Charles was a guest on our show. Probably the
He was.
longest podcast. We did like a 3.5-hour show one time. It was a WWE Games Roundtable with Charles and our dear late friend Trevor Oz. That was an epically long podcast. We do have
This is
some
a good one.
WWE. We do have some WWE 2K stuff coming, but first
We
let's
do.
go. But first, let's go to our lead here, and of course, that was what happened this Saturday. NXT Vengeance Day happened on the cock, and it was. I did not watch live. I went out and had some drinks. I did not watch much wrestling live. I had a birthday celebration on Friday, so I didn't watch SmackDown or Rampage live. I did get SmackDown in today, and I got Vengeance Day in today as well. This was the first event post-pandemic on the road for NXT as they were in Charlotte, North Carolina. I thought, considering the scope of NXT is a lot smaller than Raw and SmackDown, I thought this was a great crowd for that NXT show, Matt.
Well, to be fair, they did stand and deliver in Dallas last year. So,
yeah, that's
and
true.
technically this is their second show, but this is the first show since 2.0 bit the dust. Yeah. So I mean, we can look at it that way. I'll be perfectly honest. I wasn't looking forward to the show.
Yeah,
I had plans. Those plans got canceled, so I decided, I'll turn it on the show and watch it. It wasn't bad.
No,
like it wasn't great, but it was a fine show. To me, it reminded me, and I said this on Twitter in the middle of the show. If Triple H and Shawn Michaels got together to run this new version of NXT, and all the in-ring action was booked by Triple H, but the last 2 to 3 minutes of each match, Triple H just said, "Hey Shawn, here you go. You can book the rest." And Shawn put his nasty 2.0 fingerprints on everything. And that's what most of the event felt like to me. Like the in-ring action was really good in the finish of almost every match. And it wasn't every match, but it was almost every match. Like the ending of the match, I'm like, what the fuck was that? And so, look, they're getting better. Like NXT is getting better as a brand, but it still has a very long way to go to get back to the black and gold NXT era that I love dearly. So
yeah, there's a long ways to go till we get to that. I was out doing some karaoke on Saturday, and I texted Matt. I go, "How's the show?" And he sent me that tweet. And as I watch the show today, I'm like, "Yeah, he was right." Jesus.
Yeah.
It all
the matches
starts off,
were good.
Yeah,
especially the opener and the women's triple threat.
Yeah,
I thought were the two best things on the show.
Yeah, the opener with for the NXT North American Championship, Wesley and Dijak, probably the best match of the night. Actually, I think it was hands down the best match of the night.
Yeah.
And it's kind of not surprising because I mean, look at how many great NXT matches Dijak had, especially with Keith Lee back in the day. And obviously, we all know Wesley can go on his own as well. And then it got a little fugazi at the end with D'Angelo and Stax, and that broken finger. I think it was his middle finger. Yeah, right here. Yeah. Steven says great match to start off pay-per-view. Dijak broke his middle finger.
Luckily, he just dislocated it. Luckily, it was not an actual break. They put it back into place, so he's actually good to go. It could have been a lot worse, and it looked like it was a lot worse than it actually was. So
yeah,
I mean, that's good news.
Hey, Dijak, which finger did you break?
Did you look? This could just be me overthinking things, but do you think Dijak pulling out the broom was a shot at Kenny Omega for calling him Donovan Dickhead back when they were going back and forth with the NXT AEW rivalry back a few years ago?
I forgot all about that.
As soon as he pulled out the broom, I immediately thought of Kenny Omega calling him Donovan Dickhead. So like I don't know if the two things were connected and that was a shot at Omega or not, but why was there a fucking broom at ringside? Like I've never seen them use a broom in WWE for anything. So the fact that it was Dijak with a broom immediately made me think of of that original, back and forth.
Yeah, but don't they? I mean, don't they use at least a floor broom for like when there's like table shit and stuff that all around the ring?
Yeah, but you
to clean
never
up?
see anybody use it as a weapon. Like it's never actually
No,
brought into
no,
a
and I
match.
mean they don't.
That's not a weapon WWE ever uses.
And they're not even using a broom like that. They're using a floor sweeper, a big broom,
Yes,
big wide one.
exactly. Yeah, those
So,
big. Yeah, the big. Yeah,
so yeah, the
yeah. So
opening match.
I think it was a shot. We'll probably
Uh,
never know, but I think it was.
yeah, the opening match was, as Matt said, booked by Triple H until the end, and then Shawn Michaels took over with, Dijak already defeated those guys. He kidnapped Stacks. I guess they're still trying to not get over that. I don't know, but at the end, it did not take anything away from what was a great match, which was the best match of the night between
Oh, for
Dijak and
sure.
Wesley.
Hands down match of the show.
Yeah,
Like they started out really freaking hot.
NXT tag team, women's tag team title match up next. Fallon Henley and Kiana James taking on Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Decent match between these two. Not obviously it was kind of hard coming off of that first match. I thought it was decent, wasn't great, but just decent. But I do like the title win. I think a title change was needed here to kind of freshen up the tag division. I like the story with Kiana and Fallon. And I think overall it was at least the right booking decision here, in my opinion.
No, I agree. For like heading into the match, I kind of sensed that the titles were going to change because they kept hammering the fact home of that Katana and Kaden, longest running WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and I'm like, well, they want to get that record halted before it gets any longer. Because I'm sure they don't want that record really, resting with an NXT team.
No.
So they were like, yep, time to yank those belts off of them.
Yeah, and
so
then
I kind of saw the title change coming.
Yeah, and then Damage Control probably won't lose them for a while now.
WrestleMania probably because they're rumored to face Rousey and Baszler. And if
Yeah.
that happens, I promise you those titles are changing hands.
Yeah, that means they won't get the title.
And Rousey and Baszler will probably break the NXT record. I could see them holding those for a while.
Yeah, and obviously NXT, less experienced people, but yet I think the story with all four of these people, Brooks Jensen, Fallon, and Kiana, has been a solid story in NXT. And I thought I predicted they were going to win the tag titles last week, and sure enough, they did. So I kind of like the story overall. Now, I mean, the big thing, of course, is, well, Fallon didn't know that Kiana cheated. So what's going to happen once she finds out? Yeah, I know. Suck it up, Buttercup. You got the
exactly. You're champions now. Who fucking cares? Don't be a freaking baby.
The rest of the NXT roster was doing a watch party at the Performance Center. They showed some videos from Instagram. Guys like Drew Gulak and Hank Walker, Lila Valkyria, also talking about Cora Jade as their feud continues, and we'll probably get some progression on those with Tuesday's show. Some breaking news.
Videos look like nobody wanted to be there.
Right.
Like nobody wanted to be there. Like, why are we here for this?
And breaking news, Bayley is going to be on NXT tomorrow night. She will be hosting Ding Dong Hello with Toxic Attraction. So that'll be fun.
Fresh off her loss tonight.
Yeah, right. Next up, 2 out of 3 falls. Carmelo Hayes sweeping Apollo Crews. Great match. I thought it was good. Got a little obvious fugaze at the end with old
Dabba-Kato.
Yeah, Dabba-Kato. Who I mean, if Stevie Wonder could have saw him turning on Apollo Crews at the end of that match.
Yeah, it was painfully obvious.
Yeah, and I think it was best for Carmelo to go 2-0 because obviously we all know we've been predicting this for months now. We all know it's going to be Carmelo and Braun at Stand and Deliver. In my opinion, I think it was best that they went 2-0 right here.
I expected this to be match of the night, and like it wasn't. It wasn't even close. I don't know what happened. Like the match was fine, but I don't feel like it ever got out of second gear.
No,
and I don't even know how that's possible with those two guys.
I know.
But like that was like going into that show, that was the match I was looking forward to the most. And it was over, and I was just like, that was it. Like, I don't know. Like, I expected much more from that match. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, Wesley and Dijak had just an insane amount of near falls in that thing where you thought it was over like 10 times, and that kind of
Yeah.
is what made it interesting here. Charles in the chat saying that's my best line in the bedroom. Ding dong, hello.
My God.
I was on the 2 games marketing team for about 15 minutes. I pitched WWE 2K23 even stronger, but like last year. well, 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 well. Alba and Isla soon to be NXT Tag Champs. Yeah, maybe. I don't expect a long reign out of Fallon and and Kiana. But it's kind. I like the Alba and Isla.
If they're not going to call Alba up, yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with this. They might as well put the titles on them at Stand and Deliver. Like, I don't foresee a very long tag title reign for Fallon and Kiana. So, yeah, this would make more sense, and do something else with the TikTok tag team. Like, I just don't care. Bring them to the main roster and let them job to Rousey and Baszler. I don't freaking care.
Fatal 4-way up next with the New Day taking on Gallus, Chase U, and a Pretty Deadly. And boy, oh boy, Chase U. If you were wondering if they were over outside of Orlando, Chase U had a lot of support in Charlotte.
To be fair, that's Andre Chase's hometown.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do we really know they're over everywhere, or were they just specifically over there because, Andre Chase's hometown?
Hey, I don't know.
I'm gonna say the verdict is still out on Chase U for the time being.
Well, Duke hasn't turned on him yet, so I like Chase.
Yeah,
Andre Chase
give it a few more weeks.
Andre Chase has done a hell of a job, though. I think he's done great work.
He's entertaining, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know if he's true. I don't know if he's truly over with the overall crowd. Like,
well, we'll find out in Hollywood, maybe.
We'll definitely find out
if he gets a match there. I don't know.
I think it'll probably be him and Hudson.
Could be.
And Stand and Deliver. Because eventually they're going to implode.
Yeah, either that or either that or they may do some NXT tapings in LA too, possibly. Now that they're on the road again, they used to do that. They used to tape NXT a couple weeks ahead of time when they were on the road there, so maybe they'll do that too. I don't know. Very good match though. A lot of action in this one here, and I figured Gallus was going to win this one, and they did.
A lot of people online were pissed off by this.
Like, why? What did you see online?
It seemed like everybody had preference Gallus in 4th place of who they wanted to come out of here with these titles. Like, there were a lot of angry people on my timeline after this match that Gallus won those titles. I was surprised. Like, I didn't expect to see that reaction, but yeah, there were a lot of people upset.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I kind of figured that Gallus would be the best ones to win here, though Chase U would have been fun to see. But yeah, I almost think you're right that Duke. I don't know. Maybe Duke's is still gonna be a team player. Who knows? But
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
We're trying to I don't know if you're trying to build Chase U, obviously with Bodie getting released, and right now it's basically just Duke and Andre and Thea Hale.
I'm pretty sure he was meant to turn on them much sooner, but Bodie's release, it's kind of changed things up.
Oh, you can't buy a Chase U shirt at the shop? What? That's interesting. Steven Chambers in the chat.
Kind of weird. You kind of think that would just be easy merch to push.
Yeah, Thea Hale only 19. Yeah, she just turned 18 when she signed. Still in high school. She was still in high school when she signed her contract, and she's a crazy firecracker, we'll say, and has had some good progress in the ring too with the few matches that she's had. So
she's got her whole career ahead of her. She wants to be there.
There's so many good.
She has the potential to end up being very good.
Yeah, and there's so many good young women there that she can learn from. Roxanne is 21. Cora Jade is 21. And they have actually had some years in the business at this point. unlike Thea. So they're young girls that are literally Thea's age that Thea can really learn from. And so that's, and it's a good, strong division that they got there. And speaking of the good, strong division, we translate to what I think Matt and I both agree was the second best match of the night. And that was the triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez, JC Jane, Gigi Dolan. Of course, we all know, we all expected what was going to happen. Toxic 2-on-1, but then it'll break down at some point. And this was just a really well put together match, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. To me, it was the second best match of the night, right behind the opener. And I wasn't expecting much from this based on the story going in, so I was pleasantly surprised how well the three of them worked out the story and played off of it in the triple threat environment. I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
I still don't want to see them break up Toxic Attraction. I feel if you're going to have two sets of women's tag titles between NXT and the main roster, you need to create and keep more tag teams together.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with being a tag team that's just a freaking tag team. That's how you build your division.
I wonder.
I really don't want to see them split them. I think it would be a big mistake for the overall growing of that tag team division right now.
I wonder if this starts sowing the seeds of Toxic Attraction getting called up to take on Damage Control.
Well, like I said, it's seemingly Rousey and Baszler in the Mania spot. So
this could be.
I wouldn't bring them up. I wouldn't bring them up until after.
Yeah.
After Stand and Deliver, like Michaels was of the belief on the media call last week that like the next round of call-ups will happen around WrestleMania.
And the main event, Braun Breaker,
the worst thing on the show.
Braun Breaker and Grayson Waller steel cage match. I don't think it was the worst. I don't think it was the worst match of the show, but yeah.
Well, then what was worse?
I think the women's tag might have been a step below this one.
No way. No way. This was hands down the worst thing on the show.
I mean, it wasn't an epic main event at all, but it wasn't terrible. I didn't think.
I thought
what didn't you like about it?
Just wasn't good, dude. It didn't even feel like a cage match.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't know. It just I didn't like it at all. I thought it was very, very poorly done, and I can't wait for Carmella to take the damn title off of Braun and Stand and Deliver. We can move on from this dreck of a title reign.
Yeah, as Steven says in the chat, crowd was not into Braun at all, and wasn't their best matches. Wasn't surprised that Braun retains. Of course, Carmelo, we've been saying that for a while now, that Carmelo and Braun is where that's going to lead to, and Carmelo is going to win the title. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
He has to.
But
it's his time.
Yep, the end of the night, Carmelo comes out and stares down Braun Breaker as he's standing on top of the cage there. So Frantic World in the chat, Billy Starks is so good. Hope she signs with AEW or gets an ROH contract. Yeah, she's been impressing. I thought she had signed.
I feel like she's not 18 yet. I don't believe. So they're not going to sign her until she turns. And if she does have one of those deals, she might have one of those Nick Wayne deals like that I can't remember what they called what they signed to Nick Wayne, like an upstart contract or something like that.
Yeah.
So like
he's not getting paid right now.
Yeah. So I could see them wanting to do something like that with her. Like I think AEW would be insane not to land her as soon as they have the means to be able to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to the rest of the stories here from over the weekend. Cody Rhodes is kind of making some waves here with some comments here about one Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Cody says, with all due respect to The Rock, the options we have on the roster are better due to the stories, and thinks that the WWE does not need The Rock in a story at WrestleMania. And I think we kind of been saying that on this show the last couple weeks, haven't we?
Yeah, look, in the Vince era, you needed to bring in all the damn part-timers because you didn't build up enough stories.
Right.
In the months leading into WrestleMania to make it truly feel like WrestleMania. But there's a bunch of stories that are building right now that can easily climax at WrestleMania, and you're doing that without all the freaking part-timers. It's smart booking on Triple H's part, because the one thing we've complained about WWE for the last 10 to 15 years is they weren't building for the future. Because every time a moment came that you could build your next generation of stars, you'd rather bring back a part-timer or a legend instead and put them in the spot instead of raising one of your young talents to the next, echelon and make them the important next run. So I think this I don't think they need The Rock at Mania. It would have been nice to have The Rock, but I don't think they need The Rock. And I think this WrestleMania, potentially the build that we're seeing right now, this could end up being an all-time Mania by the time we get there.
Oh yeah.
If
You
nobody
got
gets hurt
you
and
got
and everything goes according to plan, I think we're heading into a really good WrestleMania 39, man. I'm
yeah.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, you got Cody and Reigns, you got KO and Sami against the Usos, you got Gunther and Sheamus, you got Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. There are some, oh boy. They do need 1 inch at Mania, though, according to Daryl in the chat. An old inside joke on Lost in the Midcard. Charles in the chat, WWE does not need The Rock, same as they didn't for the Rumble. They have enough talent. Exactly. And that's what Cody is saying, too. And he's saying the stories are there, and they are good stories. And it is going to be a very interesting road to WrestleMania, of course, with that stop in Canada, that Elimination Chamber coming up here.
My God, pal.
WWE 2K23, we're getting very close to the release date here, and we got a little bit of a little more information here. Matt, what is that release date, by the way? Do you have that off the top of your head?
It is March 17th for the regular edition, and if you pre-order either the icon edition or the $120 edition, which I can't remember which one that's called, those will be released on the 14th. So you'll get them on a Tuesday instead of a Friday.
So we're getting close to the release there. There's a good shot of inside.
It's a little over a month away.
Mm-hmm. And there's a shot right there of inside the War Games cage, which will be used in the game for the first time ever. Pretty cool. There are some significant changes coming to Universe mode for 2K23. This Universe mode has been in WWE games for over a decade, acting as a sandbox to allow wrestling fans to book shows the way they see fit. Over the years, a handful of changes have allowed players to take further control, make their game their version of what the WWE Universe should be. In an interview with Screen Rant, 2K23's creative director, Lionel Jinks, and associate gameplay director, Brian Williams, updated fans on how cutscenes will work in Universe mode in the upcoming game. Quote, with Universe, there are some huge improvements that we made there to help tell the story and give users even more control than they already had, which is crazy to think about. You can have actions that you want certain superstars to perform before a match. Like, okay, I want Bobby Lashley to shake hands with MVP before the match, but at last second, I just want him to punch him. Like, those actions you can actually assign to that match, watch the cutscenes play out, and see how that dictates your rivalry. Williams followed up and said, I was playing the game over the past weekend, and I even reached out to our Universe engineer. Him and those guys have done a tremendous job on Universe this year. The ability, because cutscenes have always been prevalent in Universe and telling those stories within that mode. This year, having the ability to be that ultimate puppet master where, like Lionel described, being able to scroll through a list of available actions that you want your superstar to do, whether it's respectful at the start of the match or disrespectful at the end. The level of control that the players will have in Universe is something I don't think they're expecting. If you hear that, you've heard all that, Matt. What are your kind of thoughts on this kind of update to that Universe mode this year?
To be fair, we've expected this for a long time.
Yeah.
And y'all haven't given it to us. We've been expecting this for a long time. Honestly, what I'm hearing about Universe mode, if it's as good in action as they're making it out to be, this could be the replay value mode that WWE 2K has been looking for
Mhm.
for the last 8 years.
Mhm.
Because they haven't had any significant replay value in their game.
Yeah.
Like Universe last year was broken beyond belief. It
Yes.
crashed all the time. It wiped out save files. It corrupted save files. It was a mess. And in my rise was a stripped version of what it could have been because they took out half the damn roster, ahead of the game's launch.
Shut up.
So like a lot of the stuff that should have shined last year was not good. So I'm hoping the 2K23 with Universe will deliver the replay value that we need a WWE game to have, because it's been a long time that I can say that I've played a WWE game from release to the next release of the game. It's been a long. It's probably the THQ era
Yeah.
is the last time I can say I've been able to do that. Probably
Yeah.
2K14, which was really a THQ game.
Yep.
So I'm really hoping they delivered the goods this year. War Games looks to be like a lot of fun. Hopefully we have a stable online. If Universe is as good as they say, I think we might have something really substantial as far as replay value this year. And if nothing else, it should at least keep me entertained until Fight Forever comes out.
Right.
So,
If it comes out.
it's coming out, for the love of God. Will you stop?
Daryl in the chat, is Bad Bunny the only pre-sale bonus? That's the only one I've heard of. How about you?
Yes. Bad Bunny only.
Charles says, I want DLC for WWE 2K23 where they patch it with WWE All-Stars 2. I like that game. I liked All-Stars.
I loved freaking All-Stars.
Unfortunately, Battlegrounds was not. Unfortunately, Battlegrounds was not what All-Stars was.
We were all hoping,
right?
But it wasn't even close. It was not good.
Nope, not.
They should have just given us a sequel to All-Stars instead of releasing that junk.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but oh well. AEW is now starting off with their house shows, and there's been some follow-up to those first house shows so far. According to Fightful Select here, AEW, they have heard from AEW that there's been positive reception from the roster. Multiple talent spoke with Fightful about the news of live events and house shows being added to AEW's schedule. Several said they knew something like this has been coming for a while. One source indicating that multiple wrestlers have pushed for this for multiple reasons. One talent told them that they would rather get their in-ring reps under the All Elite Wrestling banner than working outside the company. Another talent spoke how this will benefit the younger, more inexperienced talent and expect to see creative matchups that will help them along in their growth process. That same talent spoke to highly of the reps that those talents can get on Dark, but being able to work longer matches on the road against more experienced talent will be invaluable. Most of the talent, if not all, will have a set number of maximum dates of their contracts that we're told AEW rarely even comes close to approaching on a yearly basis. So AEW has been prepared from a contractual standpoint for these. If you get a house show coming your way, Matt, would you go to it?
At this point in time, no. But I need to wait and see what the house show experience looks like.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll get plenty of reports coming out of Ohio for the thing next month, and if it sounds like it's a good time, sure, I'll go. Like, I'm going to I'll go to an AEW show if it's Dynamite or Rampage. I'll go to a New Japan show. If the right circumstances surrounds itself, I'll go to a WWE show. I almost went to Raw's 30 in Philly, and I, backed out the weekend of, and I'm glad I did. But it's just, I don't know. Like, house shows to me just aren't worth the price of admission. So I guess we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see how the first show goes, and and then I would judge from there.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of the house show on the WWE side of things. Hell, there hasn't even been an AEW show in Nebraska yet, so I might go if they.
Well, you might actually get a house show in Nebraska. I mean, that would actually be, because the whole idea, from my understanding, is for them to do these house shows in locations that will never get a Dynamite or a Rampage. So I mean, there's a very good chance that they'll start coming to other states that they haven't been to yet in order to run these live events. And who knows, if you guys could pack the damn house and have a big event, maybe they'll be like, oh, maybe we should come back here for TV.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
surprised
stuff
they
like that will
haven't.
change people's minds.
I'm surprised they haven't even at least come to Omaha, let alone Lincoln. Both have newer arenas. So yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Of course, talking about AEW, Kyle O'Reilly has been on the shelf since June, and one of his good friends and bitter rivals over the years in different companies, Adam Cole, spoke with Dave Meltzer and Garrett Gonzalez on Wrestling Observer Radio to provide an update. He says that he talks to him every day. He's doing good. He's doing really well. This is, of course, following neck fusion surgery that he had in September and post-surgical issue that he had in January. Cole said he's in a situation where he's working so hard to make sure that he gets as healthy as soon as he possibly can, but at the same time, making sure he does not rush back. Kyle was really banged up and got to a point where he kind of couldn't take it anymore. I'm so glad that he got fixed and got healthy and is recovering day by day, every day, early on in the process. Still no time of when he will return to the ring, but I mean,
I don't foresee it being anytime soon.
No, and it was
let that man have off all the time he needs.
And it's very similar situations to Adam Cole and Kenny Omega, just banged up and need the time off sometimes. Your body says no mas.
Yeah. Yeah, look how good Omega is now.
Yep.
Back after all that time away. So
yeah, so
I can't wait to see who Adam Cole's facing in Revolution. I'm really excited to see who they end up putting him in the ring with.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll get any sort of head start on that this week or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I feel like they need to start teasing it soon.
Yeah, they need to start doing something. Yeah. This weekend was the premiere weekend for Dave Bautista's movie Knock at the Cabin, and Knock at the Cabin pulled off the win at the box office this weekend, pulling in $14 million. Of course, not quite the numbers of Avatar or Top Gun, but still a win at the box office, defeating 80 for Brady. And of course, Avatar was still sitting at number 3 with 11 million. Pulling in up to now 636 million locally, which is insane.
So fucking dumb.
I went to the movies on Friday. I do want to see Knock at the Cabin though, but we went and saw Megan instead, which was it was good. It was interesting, but it was also I thought it was a good movie.
I've heard some people really liked it and some people really hated it.
Yeah,
and I haven't really talked to anybody who's been in the middle. Like, I'm not a big horror guy, so it's not something I would check out. But it's definitely it's a polarizing movie that Megan.
Yeah,
so
it's not really horror or anything like that. It's PG-13.
Isn't it like a child's play type thing?
Kinda, but it's PG-13, and yeah,
I didn't realize it was PG-13. I thought for sure it was R.
I thought it was R too. Watching the promo, watching the previews, I thought it was going to be R, but Dave Bautista, I'm going to see that. I'm going to see it eventually. I don't know if I'll see it in a theater. But
I won't see any M. Night Shyamalan movies in theaters.
Yeah,
because that man has burned me way too many times. And after The Village, I was done. I'm like, fuck off, Shyamalan. I'm done. I'm done.
This one looks good at least. So
this does. Okay, please tell me you're not saying that sounded good. That terrible message that Mark Show put in the chat.
Which one? Oh, that one.
Because if you headline an AEW house show with Ryan Nemeth against Pretty Peter Avalon, I guarantee you no one's ever going to buy a ticket to your freaking live events when you come through again. Don't do that.
Not even Ryan's girlfriend will buy a ticket to
that. Awful.
If you watch BTE. Charles says he just can't go to house shows anymore. You can tell wrestling is different from televised. Of course, yeah, all the babyfaces win and whatnot. Oh, yeah, big match. Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy for the video game title. That's going to happen on Twitch. That ain't going to lead to a match, though.
No, because I feel like whoever Cole faces at Revolution has to be a heel, because the crowd's going to be 100% behind him. in his return match.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. But
And they did Cassidy and Cole to death already. We don't need that.
Yeah.
We don't need that again.
Rotten Tomatoes sitting at 68% from the critics and 63% from the audience. So not terrible.
Woof.
Ain't terrible.
Yeah, but it's very rare that the audience score is lower than the critic score.
Yeah, like
It's
Megan,
normally the other way around.
Like Megan, the critic score was like 90 something, and the audience was 78 or something.
Shit.
I think. Or let me look at that. I might have it mixed up. No, 94 by the critics, certified fresh, and 78 by the audience. So
wow.
Yeah, I was right on that. Interesting.
94 on something like that. That's pretty crazy.
It was a good movie. I liked it a lot. Let's move on to television. Let's first kick off with Monday Night Raw, the show that we're the unofficial official show of beforehand. Monday Night Raw kicking off in about 18 minutes. We will get you the latest from Sean Ross Sapp here on the plans in just a little bit. But Monday Night Raw, not bad. Cody Rhodes does what he does best, cutting a damn good promo, and that kicked off the show there. And it'll be interesting to see kind of how this evolves with Cody and Roman. We haven't really seen them face to face or cross paths since Cody's come back to WWE, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what angle they take on that.
Yeah, with the chamber so close, I don't even know if you need to have them cross paths until at the chamber or right afterwards. Because
you can still have that illusion.
Chamber's like next freaking weekend already. Yeah. Like it's already here. Like we went for 2 months from the Survivor Series to the Rumble, and we're like, 3 weeks later, let's do the fucking chamber. Like, okay. You know, it's just very uneven pay-per-view, placement. Man, my Saturday is loaded next week, dude. I got Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania on Saturday afternoon in IMAX 3D. My first ever IMAX 3D experience. Very excited. Then I gotta go grab food somewhere. Then I gotta come home and watch the Elimination Chamber. But then that Battle in the Valley New Japan show with Mercedes is wrestling on starts at 10 p.m. that night. Mm-hmm. So like the first hour overlaps with the chamber, but clearly Mercedes ain't gonna wrestle in the fucking first hour. Probably main event the damn thing. Yeah. So it's just like, man, my Saturday next weekend loaded. We're gonna have a shit ton to talk about on this show in 2 weeks' time. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
crazy
it is
shit.
Insane. Seth Rollins, Chad Gable for qualifying in the chamber. Rollins gets the win there. Good match between those two. Gable is ever since Triple H has taken over, Gable's definitely had a better showing for himself. I kind of wish Gable would have won this match, as Rollins has been all over the U.S. title scene for a while now.
You gotta have Rollins in the chamber.
Yeah. Io Sky took on Candice LeRae again, and Io Sky wins again. Rhea Ripley cutting a promo, choosing Charlotte Flair. I thought maybe she would choose Bianca, but here we are. We're hopefully going to get Asuka against Bianca then for the other side of the women.
That's my prediction. I think Asuka's the woman to beat in that chamber.
In the thank God this happened moment of Monday Night Raw, Johnny Gargano defeated Baron Corbin to qualify for the Elimination Chamber.
Baron Corbin.
MVP hosting Austin Theory in the VIP lounge. Lashley coming out and accidentally spearing MVP. We're still waiting for that business to brew, aren't we?
I thought everything after Lashley came out on this was very good. And everything before Lashley came out was like, oh my God, make it stop.
Rick Boogs makes his return, squashing Miz. Apparently, Maxine Dupree has her eyes on Otis to be a maximum male model. Oh, comedy.
Yeah!
It's okay. Oh man, the comedy that could pursue, and it has been made official, according to Sean Ross Sapp, that the maximum male models are now Monday Night Raw, switching brands.
See, the way that they're switching all these people and brands for no fucking rhyme or reason, why are you even considering doing a draft in April? Because if you can just shift all these people around at will for no reason whatsoever,
really,
all these people are moving to Raw, and I haven't heard anything about SmackDown getting anybody.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't these be like at least seemingly supposed to be fair trades or something? It's just like
Yeah.
it's really freaking weird. Like, to me, like, especially if you're doing a draft in April, you didn't need to move all these people around right now. It's just kind of silly moving a bunch of people around 2 months before a draft. It's like, what's the point?
Daryl in the chat saying you're going to need a nap on that night,
Man,
Matt.
I need a nap right now. Who you telling?
Hey, Mexi. What is Triple H doing with Gargano and some of the female wrestlers? His booking does not make any sense, says Frantic World. I think
he brought too many people back and didn't know what he didn't have plans for what he was going to do with any of them at the time.
Yeah, I honestly
he brought a bunch of people in and he didn't have a long-term plan, and unfortunately those people are suffering for it. I hope Gargano gets a storyline sooner rather than later, because that man deserves it. And I don't feel like he deserves to be floundering, on Raw right now, and he could be, doing something elsewhere and being a top guy.
Yeah, I wonder if he's if he's just Triple H just biding his time for Ciampa to come back and they reform DIY. I don't know.
I hope they do, because I would be all for that.
Becky and Bailey Lynch had a lot better promo than the last time around. It was actually a really good promo with those guys. Bronson Reed squashing Dolph Ziggler to qualify for the Chamber. We got to see the Karen gimmick for Chelsea Green in more action. I thought so far so good. We'll see where that leads.
It has potential.
It does.
I feel if anybody could, if anybody could pull it off, it's gonna be her. So
and then a great main event to end Raw: Finn Balor and Cody Rhodes. What's more to say about that? A couple great wrestlers.
Yeah, good shit.
Yeah,
very happy that Cody's back.
Yeah, very much so. SmackDown kicking off with at the parking lot, Kayla trying to get some information from the Bloodline, as we are wondering what is up with Jay right now, but no answer. And I guess we'll find out a little more there. I mean, obviously there's a tag title match coming up next week, so
this Friday.
Yeah, is he or isn't he?
It could end up being Jimmy and Solo. The way Adam Pearce is all willy-nilly tag team replacements lately.
Yeah, Freebird rule all around.
Yeah. He's just Freebird and everything nowadays.
As we expected, Strowman and Ricochet beat Imperium to be the number one contenders of that said title match, which will happen next week on SmackDown. Obviously, there will not be a title change there either. Then they did some NASCAR stuff that I fast forwarded through today.
You didn't miss much.
Charlotte makes Sonya Deville tap out in 9 minutes. Again, as we expected.
It was a good match, though.
It was not bad. Yeah, Sonya definitely deserves somewhat of a push this year somewhere. Roman is telling Solo and Jimmy to go look for Jay, and well, as we all know, they did not succeed in that. The Brawling Brutes took on the Viking Raiders. Then after that match, Drew and Sheamus came out to get some more revenge on the Viking Raiders as that feud is continuing. And then we got a fatal 4-way elimination chamber qualifier. Shotzi, Shayna, Natalya, and Zelina. I was a little surprised here. I thought Shayna would qualify, but Natalya got the nod, which is not a bad choice either.
It's Natty in Canada, dude. What are you thinking?
Yeah,
you gotta book Natty in Canada.
That's true.
You gotta.
Of course, Shayna's history in the chamber is also something, but maybe they'll have a second chance match or something, and maybe she'll get the last spot.
Because the final qualifiers tonight in the fatal 4-way on Raw.
Oh, is it? Oh, is there only one spot left?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I saw the graphic had 3 spots left.
No, they did the final 4 people that were eliminated from the Rumble, and then they added.
Oh, 4. Okay.
Yeah, and
maybe it was the men that. Maybe it was the men that had 3 blanks then, or something. I don't.
No, because I feel like because 3 got filled on Raw.
Wow.
Bronson Reed, Rollins, and who was
that
the
means
other
there's
guy?
3 left then.
Who was the other guy? No, because Austin Theory has to be in it.
Oh.
He has to defend his title.
Oh, I saw a graphic with 3 blanks. Maybe they just weren't updated yet.
Maybe they forgot to throw Theory in there.
And a great ending with Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn coming in to attack him. Jimmy and Solo beat him up. He was going to really destroy Sami, but Roman stops and tells Zayn that he is going to get what he wants, as he's going to destroy Sami Zayn in front of his home country, friends, and family at the Elimination Chamber. A very good end to SmackDown. Loved it. Switching.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber is going to be hot, man.
Yeah. Switching gears to AEW now. We kicked off with Moxley and Hangman Page. Yeah, that was a hell of an opener, wasn't
it? Those two don't have bad matches, man. They just don't.
And oh look, Moxley bleeding again. What a surprise. The Acclaim took on some jobbers, those guys that look like they're straight out of the 80s that got killed by Brody King. If you watched AEW Dark last week, there's this clothesline where King just took the soul out of that guy's body. And it all led to the Guns coming out. The Guns are going to take on the Acclaim next week, as Billy Gunn said. Takeshita took on Brian Cage, another great match. I think Cage has been having some good matches this year. Takeshita getting the win with the running knee after a 10-minute match there. Brian Danielson, Timothy Thatcher. We expected that to be a good technical match, and it definitely was. Brian continuing to get his wins as he looks to qualify, I guess you could say, to face MJF. How many more matches do you got to do here? Like three more?
Just this one against Rouge.
Oh, just one more left against Rouge?
Yep.
Okay. Number 50 for Jade Cargill. She beat Red Velvet. And
anticlimactic.
Yeah. Britt Baker got beat down by Saraya and Toni Storm while Jamie Hayter was getting interviewed. And the main event, Darby Allin, Samoa Joe, they tore the house again down in the main event. What are your thoughts on Joe becoming the king of television once again?
First off, I love the female NWO. That's forming in AEW right now. The New Woman Order with Saraya and Tony. They're breaking out the spray paint on Rampage. It's just like,
I haven't seen Rampage yet.
I see what y'all doing. Y'all going NWO in this bitch, and I'm for it. And if the third woman, everybody thinks the third woman's Ruby Soho, and then it turns out to be Mr. Mercedes, I'll lose my mind. So
right.
There could be some cool stuff on the horizon for this thing. I loved Samoa Joe winning this match because I didn't see it coming. Like I was 100% sure. I'm like, all right, no holds barred. Wardlow's coming back in the match. He's gonna help Darby beat Joe, and then they're gonna restart their feud. Like there was no way I had no prediction that Joe was gonna win the title back, and then Wardlow was gonna come out. Like, never saw that coming. I loved it. I love Samoa Joe. I love the run Joe's on right now. This is the Samoa Joe that you look at and you're like, how did WWE miss on this man so badly? I freaking love it.
He's fat.
He's the best, man. I fucking love Samoa Joe.
Great episode of Dynamite there, and as Matt mentioned, they took on the Renegades, but maybe the L's are for the Bella Twins that are going to join them. How about that, Matt? Bella Twins,
Saraya did shout out the Bellas on Twitter after that.
They always like to do the loser.
Could you imagine they freaking come over there after all the shit they've been talking on WWE for the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, for
look, Brie isn't like a far stretch. Her husband works there,
right?
So, that would be crazy if they came in.
It's not like Nikki's married to the WWE either, so I mean,
no, that would be pretty wild.
We got 5 minutes till Raw. Let's look ahead to Dynamite and Raw here. Dynamite, Rush and Danielson. That's going to be fucking great. Can't wait. Ricky Starks is going to take on the Garcia Guevara gauntlet.
I have no desire to see this match whatsoever.
Where he'll have to take on.
This seems like a giant waste of time. Just throw this shit on Rampage, please.
Right. MJF and Konosuke Takeshita. I can't talk right now.
That match is going to hump, as Sean Ross Sapp would say.
Takeshita
That's going to be a great match.
as they were brawling backstage, Takeshita was awarded by Tony Khan an eliminator match. So if he wins, he does get a shot at the title. Boy, I would love to see a win here just to shake things up here. Takeshita and MJF, that's going to be fun. And titles are on the line. Jamie Hayter takes on the Bunny in an eliminator match as well. The Guns and the Acclaimed and Trios titles on the line. Top Flight and AR Fox take on the Elite. The Elite.
I am very, very fearful that the tag team titles are changing hands on Wednesday. I think the Guns are leaving Dynamite with those titles, and I
think Billy screws. Do you think Billy screws the Acclaimed?
I do, and I'm not looking forward to it.
No more daddy ass scissoring. Oh, take a shit. I guess MJF saying that was fucking hilarious, and only MJF could make it hilarious as well. Charles does not like the Bellas. He says no to the Bellas. So
they're very polarizing.
We got 4 minutes to Raw, so let's go ahead and give you the plans for Raw. Edge and Beth Phoenix are going to cut a promo, qualifier match with Doc and Priest, as well as Montez Ford and Elias. I'm going to say Priest and Montez Ford qualify for the Chamber. Probably pretty obvious there. They're going to take a look back at SmackDown's Bloodline story. Baron Corbin taking on Dexter Lumis. Austin Theory cutting a promo. Fatal 4-way for the Chamber qualifier. Michin, Candice LeRae, Carmella, Piper Niven.
I want Piper to win that.
Ooh, this is going to be good. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin against Alpha Academy. That's going to be. I hope they get time.
Asuka, if they get time, that could steal the whole show. Seriously.
Asuka against Chelsea Green. That'll be interesting.
That's going to be a 30-second match.
Squash, yep.
I guarantee you. Yep. She's going to get squashed, and she's going to flip out and ask to speak to the manager afterwards.
Cody Rhodes cutting a promo, and what I presume is going to be the main event, the cage match, Becky Lynch and Bayley. Spoilers: Creed Brothers and Indy Hartwell are in for a main event. Somebody's going to interrupt Cody. We'll leave that up in the air for you. Somebody's going to accompany Shelton and Cedric.
Come on, you know who's coming. Do you know who's accompanying them if you're paying attention?
Business is going to pick up, eh?
And you know who's interrupting Cody if you're paying attention. Pay attention to your wrestling storylines. Triple H makes shit make sense.
That's it. The rest I'll leave to play out on USA Network at the top of the hour. Matt, what are your final thoughts here as we wrap this baby up? And
I'm
never scissor with your dad.
It's good advice. I'm hoping for a nice, quiet week of enjoyable professional wrestling.
Oh yeah.
I don't want anything crazy this week.
You don't want anything loud?
Next week, next week's gonna be crazy enough. Nothing crazy this week. Just give me a normal, enjoyable week of professional wrestling, and I will be a very happy camper. That's all I ask for.
He'll be a happy boy. Well, that's going to do it. We'll hope you enjoy Monday Night Raw. Follow us on the Twitters and tweet along with us. Follow along, comment with us as Raw unfolds. Matt at Raw of Showtime, me at JB Huskers. And we bid you adieu. Enjoy Monday Night Raw. Enjoy this week in professional wrestling. And thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard, brought to you by Bet Online.
Subscribe or be cursed.